Black Ram 313 back at it again. You know why? It's because this is therapeutic, man. Back again with another video in a therapy session. Today's topic and title is The Stepdaddy. Number 2. Part 2. Shaming into simphood. So yeah, here we go once again with another video about stepdaddy. Stepdaddy part 2. But this one is about the shaming language that she and society uses to convince simps not only to accept, but also to be proud of the low beta position of stepdad. And in my experience, nothing gets the succubi more worked up, gets her blood boiling, than talking about this subject. Watch the comments section. If you want to see the demons that are inside of a succubus, for example, you mention certain terms such as submission. Say that the male should be submitted to by the female. Watch her spit up the pea soup. Watch her turn into the exorcist. Watch the demon manifest. That's the number one way. Say that the male is over the female. She will produce that demon that is in her since the Garden of Eden. And if you want to go another route in that, say that a man should not marry a woman who has children by another man, that a man should not raise children that are not biologically his, and watch that demon manifest itself. Watch the anger, watch the nostrils flare, watch the blood boil. And the reason for this is because, contrary to the biblical text, she really believes that you were born and built to serve her and her alone, to worship at her feet. Her interests are your primary interest. In fact, not just primary, but solely your interest. So for you to say that a man should not take care of children that aren't his in dealing with the female, that is downright blasphemy. Blasphemy to the female goddess, the succubus. That's the worst thing that you probably can say to the creature. So let's jump right into this. Stepdad part 2. Now, have you noticed that she says that she's a package deal? Meaning that you have to have a relationship with her and also her children. In order to be with her, you have to not only provide for her, but provide for her children by another man or other men, men's is, as well. And the funny thing about this is that the guy that she laid down with, in many situations, isn't taking care of the kids that he made with her, but she expects you to come in to swoop down with your cape on, of course, wife her up, and take care of another man's child, to raise another man's seed, to be involved in the rearing of another man's genetic legacy. Although he didn't want to deal with his own package deal, you are the replacement, the runner-up. Not the one who got her pregnant, but surely the one who must take care of the kid. Such a simp. Now, she didn't require that from her own baby daddy. She didn't require her own baby daddy to take care of the kid before she gave him the cookie and afterwards. But she's going to require that of you. And my motto, Black Ram 313 original, my motto is this: never pay for something that has been given to another for free. Never. That's a sucker. See, her baby daddy Taekwon did not take the package deal. So why should you? So this video, I will be talking about 8 common ridiculous shaming language statements used as a tactic to influence the weak and try to shame the strong into stepdaddyhood, which is one of the highest levels of simping there is. So listen closely to these amazing statements said by the succubi. So here we go, jumping right into it. Number 1. It's not about who planted the seed, but who tended the garden. Quote from the succubi again.
It's not about who planted the seed, but who tended the garden.
One more time. It is not about who planted the seed, but who tended the garden. One of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard regarding this subject matter. Although it's such an asinine statement, simps believe it and act accordingly. So let's use this garden analogy to understand such a succubi statement. Let's go into the garden and dissect this analogy. Let's say a man inherits a field to plant on, right? A man inherits a field. He's given also much seed to sow in this field. The land and the seed will bring him much wealth. However, he has a neighbor with a field also, filled already with seeds sown by said neighbor. So now let's say this guy named Mike. Let's say Mike says, the owner of the first garden, Mike says, hey, and let's call the second guy Frank. Mike says, hey, Frank, instead of tending to my own garden, sowing my own seeds, what I'll do, Mike says to Frank, I'll go to your garden instead. Mike says he'll tend Frank's garden. Mike says, I'll work on your field, Frank, for free. Give you all the proceeds as well. I'll be working long and endless hours, says Mike to Frank, on your behalf. I'll be working long and endless hours for your interest, intense labor for your cause. And I'll give you every last dime, Mike says to Frank. I will take no money, nothing. I'll do it all because I'm a good man. I'm going to neglect my field and my seed, my garden. I'm going to neglect my own wealth, my own legacy for yours, Frank. Forget about me, Frank. My life is in service to you, Frank. He sits back, Frank does, and allows Mike to work his field. Mike will do everything, even at the neglect of his own field. All these things for free for a lifetime. Although this will leave him impoverished. It will leave him impoverished as a result, but he'll do this because he's such a good man. It's not about who planted the seed, but who tends the field. It's not about who planted the seed, but who tends to the garden. Now, this makes no damn sense in all the world. But such are the illogical ramblings of the BAW. The BAW, also known as the succubus. And this was a real and literal actual statement that I seen on a comment board. Don't remember exactly where. It's not about who planted the seed, but who tends to the garden. Ridiculous. Simps believe such. Number 2, when it comes to shaming language for the simps, stepdaddy's shaming language was shaming you into stepdaddyhood, shaming you into simpism. Number 2, and I quote, and this is said by many simps, Quote, I don't call them stepchildren. Those are my kids because I take care of them. One more again.
I don't call them stepchildren. Those are my kids because I take care of them.
Now, this is very similar to number one, except it's said by the male. You silly dude. Those are not your kids. They don't have your eyes. They don't have your ears. They don't have your nose. They do not carry your genes. A man is biologically hardwired to produce or reproduce his own genes. But the modern man, the simp, is socially engineered and programmed to provide resources for another man's genetic legacy. Simps are so lost that they ignore their own biological imperative. Those are my kids, he says, claiming another man's children. Claiming another man's seed, the seed of his own body, the seed of another man's body. Claiming those children as his own. You are now playing make-believe with your life, pretending to be the father when you are not the father, Maury says. I thought we were to stop playing the game of make-believe once we became adults, but simps did not get the memo. Those are not your kids, man. That is not the seed of your loins, man. But a simp's world. Side note. I find it amazing how, through the use of shaming language, that women and society as a whole can convince a man to go against his own self-interest. As an individual, just to satisfy the personal self-interest of the female. Again, give up his own self-interest to satisfy the personal self-interest of the female. That amazes me. The society can convince men to do so. Amazing. The society can convince you as a man to go against your own self-interest to satisfy the personal self-interest of the female. And this, by the way, is Black Ram's personal definition, or my own definition, of the term simp. A man who takes his own self-interest, throws it in the garbage to take on completely and entirely the self-interest of the female, particularly her mating and dating stratagem. Anyway, number three. When talking about the shaming language that the succubi, the BAW, employs to simps, to get simps to simping. Number 3. She says,
it takes a real man to take care of kids that are not his.
It takes a real man to take care of a child that is not his own. That's the real man definition according to the BAW, the succubus. Now this is a classic statement. Notice, of course, who's deciding what the definition of manhood is. A definition that is created to serve a woman's personal self-interest. She believes that your manhood and the entirety of your being is defined by how you serve her. She truly believes that you were created to be her disposable servant. She epitomizes the term solipsism and narcissism. She's a disgustingly selfish creature, and it takes a complete weakling to serve as stepdad. Men who value themselves will not subject themselves to such a position. And I have a question for the simp. Hey, Mr. Simp, is it fun being a stepdad? I really want to know. You know what? Actually, I don't want to know. Anyway, number 4, because I already know what the answer is. He's going to say yes. Number 4, shaming language for the simp to produce stepdaddy-ism or stepdaddy-hood. And I quote from the simp, and the quote is as follows: "There are some good single mothers out here." I say again, from the simp,
there are some good single mothers out here.
Okay, now, let's deal with this. My question to the simp is, good for who and good for what? If you say that there are some good single mothers out here, good for who and good for what, Mr. Simp? Can you explain that to me? Mr. Simp, she's good for what and for who? What does this have to do with me? What does her being a good mother, a good single mother, have to do with me? Are there some good single mothers out there? Well, define what you mean by good. Good for what and good for who? What does such have to do with a relationship? How can she be good for me when not only is she a liability all on her own without a child, but she becomes more of a liability with her child? She's a living liability. But now she is bringing dependent children, 1, 2, even 3 or more children to the relationship. Good for what and good for who? How is her single motherhood good for me as a man? How is that good in the relationship? How so, Mr. Simp? If you're saying there's some good single mothers out there, define that. Please tell me how. Inquiring minds want to know. How is she good? And how is she good if she was unable to pick a willing and suitable father for her children? How then is she good? How is she good if she chose not to be with the father of her children? Explain that to me. How is she good if she chose not to be with the father of her children for the rest of her life? Can you answer that, Mr. Simp? How does her being a good mom to a child that is not mine a good thing for me? Now, I'm not saying that she can't do good things for me on an individual level. To a degree, maybe she can cook or clean, but so what? You don't have to be a mother to be able to cook and clean. How is her being a single mother a benefit to me? How so? And of course, her being the mother to another man's child, her having another man's baby, is of no benefit, absolutely no benefit for me. Her mothering skills is not beneficial to me because I'm not a baby. Again, her mothering skills are not a benefit to me because I'm not a baby. So, good single mothers, what does that mean? Good for what? Good for who? Number 5. Number 5, the shaming language used to produce stepdaddy-ism or stepdaddy-hood. Number 5, and I quote,
"Someone has to take care of these kids."
Again, someone has to take care of these kids. It's someone's responsibility. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to take care of the community. Somebody got to do it. Who will step up and be that stepdaddy? It has to be done. But why should the burden be mine? Why should I drop my self-esteem and self-interest and be the cleanup man? Why should I sacrifice myself to try to right the wrong or poor choices of the succubi, of the BAW? My life has more value than that. My life has more value than to be used as her personal janitor, cleaning up the mess that is her life, managing and fixing her issues. Plus, I thought she was strong and independent, right? Let her do the work. Let her do all the work and raise her own kids. Look, a strong and independent person does not need an assistant. That's the term independence. That's the term strong. That's what it means. She does not need an assistant. So why do I need to come into the picture and help her take care of those kids? She's strong. Let her do it herself. Why should I take that responsibility? Simps think so little of their lives. Their self-esteem is so low that they believe their lives should be spent in service as the cleanup man to Keisha with 3 kids, 3 baby daddies. That's a goofy. Number 6. And I quote, when it comes to the shaming language that's used to produce stepdaddyism, stepdaddyhood. Number 6, and I quote,
You have kids, so why not accept a woman's kids with another man?
Repeat. You have kids, so why not accept a woman's kids with another or other men? And the reason why I would refuse such, having a child myself, is that I'm not her equal. I'm a radical. Radically sane with high self-esteem and free from gynocentric programming. As a man, you can have 5 kids. That's fine. But if she has 1 kid, it's a detriment and should be a no-go. Why? Because he, not she, is the prize in the relationship. She's created to serve, not to be served. Check out my video on who is the prize for more on that. Moving along to number 7. And I quote, Black men don't like kids.
Black men don't like kids.
False claim, but it's another claim. And it's said because we don't want to take care of kids by another man. That's how they try to shame the red pillars. Because we don't want to take kids by another man, that doesn't mean we don't like children. We want our own kids to love and to raise, not the kids of a stranger. She decided to have a child with a guy that she kicked to the curb. Now she wants to replace him. And most of the time, these women kick to the curb decent dudes, man, who are good fathers. But she has decided to move on. In some cases, she may have had a thuggo, but at any rate, she decided to move on and find a replacement, thus choosing now to be a single mother. You made your bed, so she should lie in it. Besides, you already have a stepdad, succubi. You already have a stepdad, Keisha, B-A-W. You already have a stepdaddy. Why do you need another one? You want 2 stepdaddies now? And you have a great stepdad. Let me tell you, single mommies, they all have in their lives a man playing stepdaddy. A great one too. And that stepdaddy is none other than Sam. Uncle Sam. Daddy government. The state. That's the stepdaddy. But because you're greedy, you want another. I've seen situations like this. Keisha got government help. She got child support. And she has a simp that is also in her life who's married her. So that's 3 right there. The state, the real father paying child support, and the simp taking care of the kids. And she has a godfather, her male friend, who also helps take care of the kid, as well as her own stepfather and her own godfather and her own biological father. Damn! She cannot lose, right? But she still wants to recruit you to come in and be the man of the house or the servant of the house, rather, to help her raise children that she produced with another man. It's her day, her world. She's enjoying it. I refuse to participate. 8 and final. When it comes to the language used to shame men into stepdaddyhood, stepdaddyism, simpism. Number 8 and final. Used by the succubi, and I quote,
She didn't get preggo alone. The man is who did it. It takes two to tango.
He is also responsible. In other words, she didn't do it by herself, is the term. Oh yeah. This is true. She didn't do it by herself. But, excuse me, miss. I thought it was her body and her choice. Excuse me, miss. Didn't she make that choice to get pregnant all on her own? Did she need approval from the guy that she slept with? Did she need his input? No. Yeah, he got her pregnant. Yeah, I'll give you that. But did he have a say so, or does he have a say so? Of course not. And Miss Succubi, don't you have more than 30 different forms of birth control methods? Aren't you the one who chooses the man in whom you sleep with? Isn't she the one who chooses the man who she wants to sleep with, or the men that she wants to sleep with? Here's a saying. I didn't create this saying, but here's a saying. Men sleep with who they can, and women sleep with who they want. Excellent saying. So if the father of your child is a deadbeat, guess what, Miss Succubi, Miss Keisha, Miss Chiquita Banana, Miss Rabied Snow Bunny, Caitlin, Maria, Keisha, guess what? You're the one who picked the deadbeat. It's your fault. You're the one who chose. You're the one who picked. And I've had Succubi disagree with this. A little slow are the Succubi. A little slow, a lot of slow. I had to explain to a succubus more than once back in the day. I don't explain things to succubus or the succubi today, but I had to explain. I said, hey, Miss Succubi, in your lifetime, you probably have had hundreds and some even thousands of men who are trying to get with you. And you don't get with all of them because you don't have the time, the energy, or even the desire to do so. You don't get with all the men who pursue you because you are the one who decides who you want to deal with. You pick and choose. With so many to choose, you have to pick only a selected few. The responsibility is solely yours. So now it's your responsibility, Keisha. Your decision, Keisha, on who you lay with. And you can't have it both ways. Either you have all the freedom of choice, or you don't have any freedom of choice. However, you want to be devoid of all. You want to abandon all responsibility of your own choices. Although this society has given you 100% autonomy in this area, in this field. You choose the man does not choose you. Sure, hundreds and thousands may approach you, hundreds of thousands or thousands and hundreds, however you want to put it. They may approach you, but however, it is your choice to pick and choose. So if you choose wrong, it's your choice. In essence, in fact, reasonably, rationally, and in reality, you are choosing yourself, Keisha, to become a single mother. Your choice. You pick them. You pick them, right? It's your responsibility. You were given the freedom of choice. Period. And that's the list for now. Now, if you've heard of other shaming language and shaming tactics used to produce simp daddy, yeah, that's a good one. Simp daddyism. Stepdaddy is simp daddy. Yeah. Simp daddyism. If you've heard of other phrases and quotations and sayings that's used to produce simp daddyism, step daddyism, Put it in the comment section if you got something to add. And I may do a part 3 to this video in the future, most high willing. But in closing, I've seen simps and thuggos impregnate women who have children already. A phenomenon that I see over and over again. Simps and thuggos impregnate women who already have children by another man. I'm going to say it again because I want you to think about this as well. Take a simp, take Mr. Thuggo, because Thuggo and them are simps too. A man will wife up a woman or be involved with a woman. She has children already by another man. And this same man decides to give her his seed. This man A says, hey, you got a kid already? Okay, I'm going to give you another one. How my baby 2? So now she has 2 children by 2 different men, which is typical for the BAW, the Western film, right? Now, think of it like this. Your woman is taking care of 2 bloodlines. 2 bloodlines. 2 different set of genes. Now, me personally, as a king, I do not want another bloodline next to mine. I don't want my woman worried about the genetic legacy of mine and genetic legacy of his simultaneously. See, I'm a god, small g, a king walking amongst mere mortals. Why would I take my precious seed and put it next to the seed of another man? Think about that. I want you to have my baby too. What a goofy. Her body has already been hijacked by the seed of another man. Her life essence, her body, her genetics is now used to produce another being, a child of another man, and you want to subject her to the same and have your bloodline next to another man's bloodline. Now, to me, this sounds odd and weird and foolish. But to many of you in listening to me, this is normal. Normal behavior, normal thinking, because you've been programmed and conditioned to think that you are invaluable and that she's a valuable one. As a king, as a god, I prefer a virginal woman to produce my seed only. To have every fiber of her being going to the rearing, the raising of my genetics, my genetic legacy, her resources, her brain power, her energy on my seed, not another man's seed, not simultaneously my seed and his seed. What a goofy guy you are. She got a kid already. You want to give her another. Not a second child of yours, but a second child from you and a first child from him. Again, I know you think this is normal, you simp. I am ultra, mega, super red pilled. There are many YouTubers who don't even think on these terms. He think it's okay to play the stepdaddy and produce other children. Now, I know that there are men who have done this after they've taken the red pill. I get that. But a lot of men are so weak, such a weakling, that you want to produce a child side by side with another man. You want to produce a child side by side with another man. Think about that. Yeah, think about that. Yeah. 1 woman, 2 men. 1 woman, 3 men, and a baby. Huh? Or babies. Oh, yeah. Weakling. Weenie. So don't be weak. Don't give in to the beta male blue pill simp conditioning. Value yourself as being more. Be a man and desire only the best situation for yourself, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also subscribe to my second channel, Black Ram for Vengeance. Check out my Patreon page, link in the description box. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, PayPal link is also in the description box. And until next time, brethren, stay well and stay red pilled. Black Ram 313. I'm out.